We are Saber Sports.
Welcome back to Saber Sports. I'm Simone Steffen, joined by Shane Fordham, Chris Zellis, Jeremiah Williams, and Peyton Hart. The NFL free agency has been very interesting, with new faces in new places. Shane, which running back signing will have the biggest impact? Henry to the Ravens or Barkley to the Eagles?
Oh boy, Simone, I'm so glad you asked me this question. It's Saquon. Saquon is the most impactful signing out of the two, and I say that because of who the Eagles have bringing him into this situation. He's coming to a team. He's coming. Hey, y'all know what I was gonna say.
Welcome to the Eagles podcast.
Welcome to the Eagles show. Thank you. I respect y'all too much up here to lie to y'all. I'm only gonna tell y'all the truth. Okay. Because of the situation Saquon Barkley is coming into, he's coming into a team that has a dangerous aerial threat in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Just got reinforced by picking up Devontae Parker out of the free agency, Dallas Goedert, and we have one of the best O-lines in the league. So you have Saquon Barkley, who is one of the most dynamic running backs in the league, and you're putting him behind the O-line who had the best run block win rate last year. The best O-line when it comes to run blocking. Mm-hmm. I feel like in the past few years, we've been top five in rushing yards. That was with DeAndre Swift, Miles Sanders, and this is no disrespect to DeAndre Swift, but Saquon Barkley is a much better running back than DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders. So we could be top five in rushing yards with DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders.
Swift was a top five runner.
Imagine what we would be with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is going to lead the league in rushing next year.
Welcome to the Eagles show.
Saquon Barkley is going to be. He's dynamic. He's valuable in both the run and the pass. This just opens up our offense to do so many things. And honestly, y'all know what I'm going to say. This is looking like a team that has no weaknesses. And the last time I said that, we had a little trip to Phoenix. We went to Super Bowl. So I'm calling it again.
You heard it here
Eagles are going
first.
to the Super
You
Bowl.
heard it here first.
And this time they're going to get the job done. Fly Eagles, fly, baby. This is Eagles season all day long, baby. Let's go. I'm ready.
You know, Shane, it's funny because I actually agree with you. I think, Barkley will have the bigger impact over Derrick Henry. And I say this because of when you look at how this Eagles team is constructed, what do they love to do offensively? They love to take shots to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Well, how do you do that? You have to have a great run game. You talk about having one of the best O-lines in the league, and when you look at Saquon Barkley and the type of runner he is, I think he's a lot more explosive than Swift and will have great success behind that great O-line. And hopefully y'all play calling can be a little better this upcoming season. And I would like to see Saquon be used out of the backfield a little more. He's a great receiving back and a receiving threat. So be able to get him on linebackers on wheel routes where you can just run by him, or get him even on safeties where you can kind of make them miss and get an open field, I think would be a great addition for the Eagles. And that's why I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley.
Wow, great signing. I agree with you. It
was hard to say, wasn't it?
It's hard, to agree, but this is a great signing. Like, if you think about it, like, you add another weapon, and I know I'm probably one of the biggest Eagles haters, towards you, but it's all love here, But
I heard the butt come.
It
was too good to be true for a second.
This is a great signing. Like, if you look at it, it's like Jalen Hurts has so many options now. It's scary and it's crazy. You also, with this addition, you kind of take the pressure off of Jalen Hurts. Last year, I felt like he used his legs a lot. Now with Barkley, he's able to, lean back and just give the ball to him and let him go to work. Now, I will say this, and this is where I have an issue with Eagles fans and you specifically, Shane. With this signing, right? I don't want to hear any more excuses about play calling. We don't have enough linebackers. No. Let me finish. I don't want you to react.
I'm not going to react. I'm going to let Peyton go, and then I'm going to react. I'm definitely going to react to what you said. I got something for you.
But I don't want to hear any more excuses of we don't have enough, because you have literally the blueprint. You have everybody. You have a better defense. You have Saquon Barkley, who's a straight beast. You have everything that you need. Now, if you guys don't get it done, who am I going to look at first? Jalen Hurts. So I'm letting you know right now, enjoy it right now, but if you don't get it done, if you don't make it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl.
Missing the playoffs is crazy.
The Super Bowl, it's Jalen Hurts' part, and I'm on you.
Missing the playoffs is crazy.
If they miss the Super Bowl, I'm on you because you have everything.
I mean, yeah, I hate to co-sign as well, but I think it's pretty clear who the stronger signing was. But they're both contending teams at the end of the day, and I think Derrick Henry would be successful wherever he goes. I think leaving the Titans, I think he was carrying a lot of weight, and he was their team. He was their whole team. So I think coming into the Ravens offense, it'll be interesting to see how he gels and works with Lamar Jackson. But I agree. We saw what Barkley did behind one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does coming into the Eagles, like you said, a very successful O-line. And I think regardless, both of these players are going to have a great season.
See, y'all making me feel kind of bad because I came up here today prepared to just go at y'all.
Like I
was ready to be on the full defensive. I wasn't gonna hold back, but I mean, y'all are pretty much saying everything I'm gonna say. But I feel like what makes no doubt that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are gonna be a dynamic backfield, but I feel like a running back was honestly the last thing that they needed. They were already number one in rushing
team
yards.
with Gus Edwards.
They were the best. Like, I mean, we're bringing sand to the beach at that point. Like, how much better can you get if you're already the best rushing team in the league? What they needed was a receiver.
I agree.
I feel like if they picked up a more dynamic receiver in the free agency, like a Mike Evans who's available, like a Keenan Allen who they could have traded for, who was on the block, I feel like that would have been something they needed because they struggled more moving the ball through the air last year than they did on the ground. You know, the receiving core struggled early, and then Lamar Jackson struggled moving the ball through the air in that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. You know, like if they would have ran more that game, they probably would have won. If Lamar Jackson would have tucked the ball and just kept it and run and took it himself a couple more times, they probably would have won. If they fed Gus Edwards a little more, gave him a few more carries, they probably would have won. So I feel like running the ball for them wasn't the issue. I feel like they should have been more focused on acquiring help to reinforce that core with Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews being healthy. Because, I mean, who else do you have on there that's trustworthy? Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman? Yeah. You know, so I feel like signing Derrick Henry is nice. It looks good. But at the same time, I feel like it's redundant.
No.
You know?
You're right because, I agree with you again. It's funny, but like with the Ravens, that they're missing the one piece, like the wide receiver, like in the players who need to be able to move the ball. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball, but to a certain extent, he's not he's not gonna throw the ball 60 yards, 70 yards. So I feel like you should have got somebody that could have been that touchdown receiver like a Mike Evans, like, you know, somebody that can go get the ball. So,
and to be honest, I don't feel like this Derrick Henry signing brings them any closer to winning a Super Bowl.
It keeps them in the same position.
I don't honestly.
Now,
because I feel like the only thing I feel like that can stop the Eagles, I feel like will be the coaching. Like I feel like the weakest link of this offense is the X factor or the variable of Kellen and then Sirianni. I feel like the offense is only going to be as good in terms of if they keep it simple and don't get in their own way.
Now, Shane, I'm gonna kind of throw you on arguing back at you here for a little bit. The Eagles were not a top 5 running team in this league. They had 1,000-yard rusher in Swift, top 5 runner in the league. So for me, I feel like the Eagles almost needed to fix and patch that defense, especially that secondary. Now, y'all signed CJ, which was a great signing, but how much do you think not being able to go get some of those top secondary guys will affect y'all moving into the season? Because at the end of the day, we saw what happened to you guys. Y'all had to be able to cover, regardless of whether it's the Super Bowl, playoffs. Like, I think that's something that's where y'all needed to really focus on this offseason. So I know bringing CJ takes a lot off those other guys in the secondary, but again, who's going to cover that X-factor receiver when CJ has to go guard the tight end or the running back? So how are y'all going to handle that?
I feel like we made all the signings we really needed to defensively. We didn't just have holes in the secondary. There were holes in the linebacking core. There was no additional effective support behind the D-line. Our best unit on the D-line, our best unit on the defense, our D-line wasn't converting in rushes like they were a year ago. You know, so being able to bring in Bryce Huff, being able to re-sign BG, bring him back for at least another year. Hopefully they keep Hassan Reddick. You know, I feel like that is a big key in terms of bringing back that monstrous pass rush that we had a year ago. Then bringing back CJ. We saw how much the Eagles missed him this year. That was a totally different secondary than what we saw last year because I feel like with CJ on the field, Darius Slay and James Bradbury play better. So when you ask who's going to be able to guard that number one receiver, I feel like this is going to be an energy boost and a pick-me-up for both Slay and Bradbury to pick it up this season like they did a year ago.
All I'm going to say is if they don't get it done, I'm looking at you, Shane, because you have everything that you need playing this up.
Hey, you can look at me all you want. I'm going to be smiling over here.
You can be
I'm
smiling,
gonna be
but if
smiling
they don't
over
get
here.
it done,
Hey,
you don't get it done, you're going to be crying.
This time come next February,
You're
I'm not even going to be at the desk. I'm going to be, where's the Super Bowl this year?
It doesn't matter. You
Where's
got to
I'm
You
going
gotta
back.
get there
Best
first.
believe I'm going to be in the stands. I'm going to be smiling.
Got to get there first.
Look at me all you want.
We'll see what happens.
Look at me all you want. We know where the Eagles
We'll
going to
see
go.
what happens, but they better get there. I'm saying that right now.
Last time I said the Eagles were going to be in the Super Bowl, what happened? What happened?
And guess what?
What happened?
This is not Saber Sports if Jay, Will, and Shane don't yell and argue. So they just had to do it. They agreed too much in this segment.
Right.
My bad, Simone. I got excited. I'm sorry.
Coming up next, who should the Steelers start? Stay tuned. The Pittsburgh Steelers have had enough of 2022 first-round draft pick Kenny Pickett. Instead, they signed Super Bowl winning QB Russell Wilson and 2021 first-round draft pick Justin Fields. Chris, who should start week 1, Wilson or Fields?
This is an easy answer, but I just want to take time to say, finally I can talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I had to sit up here and listen to Shane rant about the Eagles and the Eagles this, Eagles that. But listen, brother, Steelers are about to be back. This is a no-brainer. Russell Wilson will be the week 1 starter, but this is basically a Packers situation. Now, is Aaron Rodgers better than Russell Wilson? Yes, but it ain't by a lot. Russell Wilson will be able to teach and groom Justin Fields to be the starter, how we saw with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. This Steelers offense is stacked. We have Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, Calvin Austin, Jalen Warren.
Name them again.
Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Calvin Austin, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren,
You better preach.
and a great O-line. Not to mention a great defense. Now, this is not, we talking about Russ or Fields right now, so I'm going to keep it, about this, but Wilson will be the week 1 starter. Let's not forget, Wilson is not bad. People, their situation in Denver was a little weird with the coach situation, with his contract situation. It wasn't a good fit for him, I don't think. I think Russ is a perfect fit for the Steelers and what we represent and what we do as a team. He threw for 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, only had 8 turnovers last year. A pretty good year. Now, because he's a great quarterback, that's considered an average or a down year for Russell Wilson. But in this offense, he will return back to that Seahawks Russell Wilson that we saw that makes plays, can create plays, and that can be on time with plays, and that can do it all and lead his team to the playoffs and potentially to the Super Bowl, I feel like. So Russell Wilson will be the week 1 starter, but Justin Fields will provide that competition and that push from Russell Wilson because he can't play bad, because if he does, Justin Fields is going to be on his heels pushing to play as soon as he can. So I think this is a great pickup and a great situation for both of these quarterbacks.
God,
I
love this, and I'm a
You know what I'm
Steelers,
saying?
and I'm a Steelers fan too. And this might be the Steelers show because it is the Steelers
brother,
topic right now.
You know what
But
I'm
when I found out about Russell Wilson going to the Steelers, I almost fell out of my bed because it just is amazing. Like I wanted him as a quarterback because I saw something in him. I think he still has more to give, and I think with the Steelers culture, you have Mike Tomlin as your coach, you have a chance. This is now it's getting scary for the whole AFC because you have multiple teams that can give it a run. But back to the question.
How do you fall out of your bed? Is that a thing?
Excitement.
I was
The
excited.
same way you got fell out your chair
excited.
talking about Saquon
You're not a
Barkley.
true fan. You're not a true
Yeah,
fan.
you're not a
said
fan.
that.
Let's not like you don't get too excited.
I was wondering.
Right.
I feel like that's a coordinating thing issue. If you're falling out of your bed, I feel like.
All right.
I sleep loud, but
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I think Russell Wilson needs to be the starter because he obviously has more experience. I think he'll be able to learn the offense and the playbook a little bit more quicker and better than Justin Fields because he is younger. I mean, he is older and has more experience. I think with this culture, we're going to see, like you said, Chris, we're going to see Russell Wilson from the Seahawks. Now, if y'all remember what Russell Wilson was with the Seahawks, he was steady, consistent. He was a leader. He was able to move out in and out of the pocket. He was very versatile in his game. And I think that's what you get here with the Steelers because you have so many weapons, you have a new culture, and then most importantly, he has so much to prove people calling him washed, people saying, oh, he's not the same. People were saying, like, he's not even a Hall of Fame quarterback. This gives him another edge of drive. And I think that when you have him start, he's able to be consistent. He's going to show up in big moments. And he also was able to teach Justin Fields, because Justin Fields is young, and eventually Russell Wilson will retire. And I think that's when he passes the torch, like you said, to Justin Fields to take over. So week 1 starter, Russell Wilson, I'm excited. Go Steelers.
Yes, sir.
I agree. I do think Russell Wilson should and will be the starting quarterback come week 1. But Fields, he was kind of thrown into like not the best situation over in Chicago. He came in as a rookie. He was expected to be the saving grace for this team. So I feel like not a lot of quarterbacks are coming into the NFL and being able to turn around a whole program. Right. So I think putting him in this organization, like you said, with a great coaching staff and playing under Russell Wilson, it'll be like a Packers situation. Fields will be holding the clipboard, having the headset, and learning and developing. And I think that this is a great situation for the Steelers because not only do they have a plan for now, but they also have a plan for later.
Man, you didn't miss on any of those.
Thank you.
Good God.
Shane, go ahead and agree with us.
Us three, man.
Go ahead, agree with Shane. Go ahead,
today.
Shane.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Watch the attitude.
Well, one, I'm glad y'all finally have something to talk about after Ben Roethlisberger retired.
Oh, yeah. Hey, brother.
I do
16
agree.
20 years ago.
I do
I'm glad. No,
agree.
I'm happy. I'm happy for y'all. Like, I'm glad you guys finally have
Finally in the
something
conversation
to,
again.
something to sort of brag about. You know, aside from having T.J. Watt, I'm glad you guys finally have
Right.
something
And
to
Minka Fitzpatrick.
something to like, you know, advertise. You know, like a reason to cheer for the Steelers, believe in the Steelers. I'm glad, you know, you guys.
One thing about our
finally,
fan base, we're always
you
going
know,
to cheer and believe. But, you know,
Y'all
so,
are
like the Eagles.
Well, one, I don't think that's true because this is the first time I'm hearing that both of you
Well,
guys are Steelers fans.
y'all
Y'all were quiet. Y'all were quiet. Y'all been quiet for the last 3 years.
I've been
Since I know y'all, but I didn't know that though.
Let me tell you a story.
Since I know y'all, I haven't seen
Ladies, you're all pretty. You're all pretty. We can take it down.
I haven't seen that one Steelers jersey.
Every
I haven't
weekend.
seen that one Steelers
I have a Troy Polamalu Steelers.
I've never even seen you wear black and yellow together. Talking about you been a Steelers fan. Talking about we're always
Have you ever been to
prideful.
Pittsburgh?
Yes, I have.
Talking about we're always prideful.
They will.
Please.
This man,
Please.
I've never.
ridiculous.
Have you ever seen an Eagles jersey from Shane?
One time.
I have not.
I almost brought him
up. He got on Cowboys colors right now. Look at him.
Allergic to prosperity.
Navy blue and gray. Come
Allergic to
on now.
prosperity.
Come on now.
Eagles.
Come on now.
And Cowboys.
Stop it. I'm always in green and white
Hey,
talking
bro.
about y'all talking about we're always vocal, we're always prideful. I've never even seen y'all wear yellow together.
I have.
But
Back on top.
I will say I do I will say I do agree with Russell Wilson being the starter over Justin Fields. When I think about this situation, I think about the Patrick Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith. I think about Steve Young sitting behind Joe Montana. Even Jalen Hurts sitting behind Carson Wentz. You know, and Nick Foles sitting behind Carson Wentz. You know, so I feel like it's valid examples. I feel like there is definitely an upside to, and I don't think it's a slight at all. I think there's an upside to having Justin Fields take a year or two of development behind someone who should be a Hall of Famer one day. And Peyton, going off your point, I'm glad that he was able to get out of that Chicago situation because they didn't want him there.
Right.
You know, they didn't care about him there. Jerry, they were treating him like that SZA song. Only wanted him on the weekends. Only care about him on the weekends.
Stop it.
He was getting side dude treatment.
That was so forced.
He was getting
I
side
hated
dude
it.
treatment for all his time in Chicago. You know, so
Take note.
and I don't think
Clock
Caleb
it.
Williams will be able to do anything different with that offense. But I'm glad that I think this is the perfect situation for Justin Fields.
I think this move will save his career in the sense of when you look at what is the consistent problem with young QBs. Don't anticipation where they're trying to save team. Look at Bryce Young. Couldn't do it.
Right.
Now you had the outliers like C.J. Stroud, but he had great coaching, great talent, great defense.
Yep.
And I
Clearly
think,
not in Chicago.
Right. I think you have the opportunity to build and grow, and this is what all young quarterbacks need. Jordan Love, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, like all those guys that are great. You see, they very rare are they just thrown into the fire and able to see unless they're in a very almost close to perfect situation. So I think this will save Justin Fields' career and give him an opportunity to grow and learn and have a real chance to start and be a great quarterback in this league.
I'm excited for this and can't wait to see this.
Excited.
Eagles, be afraid.
What?
Be afraid.
Y'all don't run PA.
Be afraid.
Y'all not even running the division.
Be afraid.
Whoa.
That's a different topic.
He's
Right.
smiling.
We'll talk about another day.
I got words for that. That's a different
He's
topic.
scared. He's scared.
We'll be right back after the break. MLB teams have been gearing up for the upcoming season throughout spring training. Chris, which teams have impressed you the most?
I'm gonna go with the Orioles, Baltimore Orioles. They're a young team, got a lot of young talent, and they have the number one prospect in Jackson Holiday. He had a great spring training, 14 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he stole 2 bases. Now, a little confusing because just yesterday they decided that he will be going to the minor leagues to start the season off, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved up pretty quickly. But he had a great spring training, young talent, like I said, 20 years old, and already producing in spring training. So I think Baltimore Orioles would be a team to watch. There's a lot of young talent on that team.
I'm looking at the Marlins. Only one reason only. Eury Perez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's 20 years old, 6'8", 220, solid pitcher. In spring training, I've been watching him, and he's developed a solid changeup. And I think this has allowed him to like kind of change up the pitches he throws at people. He's young. I feel like that this is going to be his year that he breaks out, and I'm actually predicting that he's going to win like maybe in a few years Cy Young Award. So definitely excited for him to see what he does this season coming up.
Yeah, I like those answers. I wanted to talk about the Dodgers. You know, Ohtani is really exciting me this year. You know, seeing him in a new look. You know, his batting average is looking decent. It's looking good. But I feel like the Dodgers always look good, except for when it matters most. You know, I feel like they have the stereotype now and the trait to never play up to expectations, or rarely play up to expectations.
Would you compare them to the Eagles? If we were talking.
Why? See,
Okay,
that makes,
no,
like,
we can't do that.
That
We
makes
can't do
no
that. No.
sense. Like,
Can't
were
do
we
it.
not just in the Super Bowl a year ago? Like, what?
I'm trolling. I'm playing.
I say the Steelers.
Don't do
Whoa,
that.
I say the
whoa,
Steelers.
Relax,
Don't do that.
relax.
All of a sudden, y'all want to be Steelers fans, but
It's not all of a sudden.
but I do think this Dodgers team has the capabilities of being just a great team for this next several years. Right. You know, possibly a future dynasty in the making. But I need to see it in the regular season. Right. You know, I need to actually see it come to fruition because, like I said, this team has the tendency to not play up to expectations. They tend to usually have good pieces. You know, they clearly got the pieces this year. Mookie Betts, Ohtani. You got a comparison?
Clippers, loaded,
That's
super
fair.
talented.
Wow. And
They got to get it done when it counts.
Yep.
This is
both
who
in
the
LA.
Dodgers team remind me of.
That's funny. They're
Yep.
both in LA.
I think I'll take another one, the Celtics.
Yeah.
You know, having a guy who is arguably a top 5 player, you know, to most
3.
people, to a lot of people. I mean, y'all know where I stand on that personally, but having a guy who is seen as being up there, you know, one of the faces of the league, having a what's supposed to be a great surrounding cast for really the last few seasons, but can never seem to just get the job done. Yeah. So I'm you know, that's pretty much what we've seen from the Dodgers so far. I'm hoping that won't be the case this year because of how generational Ohtani is with the situation that they have put him in. Right. You know, but then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being the same old in spite of that, especially with the recent lawsuit issues going on with his former interpreter, you know, and those allegations. So I'm hoping that this doesn't derail the Dodgers and make them the same old. But I mean, I'm.
And I think, you know, this Ohtani move was so great for them because when you look at teams that win and win when it matters, they need a player that has that X factor, has the it factor, a guy that can take over the game and really make it happen regardless of what's going on. Because you always need great role players, great supporting cast, but you have to have that player that can really take over a game, and that's in any sport to me, I feel like. Yeah. So I think that's what Ohtani brings to his Dodgers team, and I think that will make the difference, and they will be able to win when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, you guys make both great points. With Ohtani, I feel like it's going to definitely show up in the playoffs when it's a series. You know, like you said, you need that one person to take over, and I think that's what he does in the playoffs. I think for right now, and obviously baseball's a very long season. So I feel like for teams that want to make a big push, specifically the Dodgers, just stay steady during the regular season, and then slowly but surely as the season, like don't try to click it on, click it off, but like try to stay steady, and then gradually
best ball at the end of the season.
At the end of the season, then when you're in rhythm, everybody's healthy. That's what you need in baseball. So Ohtani definitely gets the job done.
After the break, we return with Brianna for Athlete of the Week. We'll be right back.
I want to run a certain time by this week. I will make sure I'll run that time by that week. And if not, I'll just I'll be hard on myself for like a day. And then after I'm like, okay, well, now I know what I can improve on.
I spoke with Leo Davis, a film studies student and a track star at Hampton University. Davis is a native of Williamsburg, Virginia.
It was my first year of track, which was my junior year of high school. I started that year, and then I didn't really find love for track until the outdoor season.
Davis is the first freshman at Hampton University to qualify for the NCAA Indoor Championship.
I was like, oh, wait, like, I'm the first freshman? Okay. Now I don't know really how to react. So, but now knowing that, I feel pretty good about it. At least now I know that the younger audiences that are watching me, or if they do watch me, they were like, oh, like, this is only his third year and he's making it to a big stage. So now hopefully I gave them motivation to be able to do the same thing.
Every athlete needs a good support system to remind them why they started.
I also have a younger sister as well, so I know she'll come in my room. She was like, "Can I try your medal?" So I was like, "Here you go." And she'll like run around.
Off the track, he's Leo Davis. On the track, he's Spider.
So I have a giant spider on my back. They're like, "Oh, that's Spider." So then ever since I was like, "Oh, Spider, okay."
I'm Brian Burnett here at Armstrong Stadium with Saber Sport.
Thanks, Brianna. That's all we have for today's show. Be sure to tune back in with us next week on Saber Sports for your favorite sports on WGNT 27.